press the actual button, and it's like go live. I click go live, and it's like, you ready to go live? Like, here we go. So again, I'm Corey Showtime.
I'm Kevin Monroe.
And we are the Showtime and Kev podcast.
That's right.
But we can't start for sure until Kevin gives us our intro. So Kevin, if you do the honors.
In the name of the one called Emperor Selassie, I conquering tribe of Judah, King of Kings and Santa Cruz Reggae Music Festival, but the Ras got to go on up in this piece, Lord of mercy. Put some respect on my name, boy.
And now that all our white viewers are thoroughly uncomfortable, we can start the show.
Oh my God, man. This is great. I'm glad we're back on today. It's hot as hell here in LA.
Yes, it is.
And by the way, thanks for watching last week's podcast. We got some feedback. Some people were having trouble rewatching the podcast because YouTube is a baller blocker, and they detected that we were playing WAP over and over again, so they blocked the entire podcast. Like, if you go to the podcast last week's link, it'll say this has been blocked because WMG Music owns Wet Ass Pussy. So,
not just the song, the entity in its entirety, the actual noun. So yeah, there it is.
Yeah, it's like we can't sing that on this podcast, so we'll have to find a way around that.
Yeah.
But anyway, man, I gotta update my playlist, man. Like my playlist is starting to sound like a 40-something-year-old sportscaster.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
What's in the Stuart Scott Spotify today?
Stuart Scott recipes. Now, I mean, I'm still playing like Biggie Smalls and like 2 Chainz from 2010 and the first 3 Kanye West albums. I mean, you know. Like, yo, the kids in 2020, they're like, what are you still playing Ye for, man? We want to hear Kodak Black or, you know, Lil whoever it is now.
Lil whoever it is now. Yeah. That is actually a person. Like, I would not be surprised if Lil whoever it is now had an album that was multi-platinum.
Right. Lil whoever it is, album dropping this summer. Cop that, you heard?
Oh, that new album, whatever, man.
New album, whatever. Yeah, pretty much. We run through all the little Wayne, little Iceberg, little Ferg, little Gucci.
Wait, is there actually a little Iceberg? I'm sad if that's the truth.
Yeah. Anyway, there's too many littles. Littles need to grow up.
Yeah.
Speaking of Kanye, man, let's get into it, man. First topic, and when I suggested this topic, the first time you just shook your head. You're like, oh my God, no.
Yeah.
But here we are in America. Kanye West is running for president in 2020. And it's serious. Like, he's trying to get on the ballot in a number of states right now. He's already on the ballot in Colorado. He's on the ballot in Oklahoma. He's on the ballot in Vermont. For real.
I don't know what to tell you, bro. Like, he's really on the ballot in these places? Like, for real? Like, you can actually vote for Kanye in Vermont?
Yes. Yeah, if you have a certain amount of signatures, it depends from state to state. Like, usually like 1,200 signatures to 2,500 signatures. You get on the ballot. And apparently he got on the ballot in those 3 states. Now, maybe, so we're going to try to replace a crazy white celebrity with a crazy black celebrity. Mm-hmm. That's progress, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Like, I refuse to believe this is happening.
It's happening. It's happening. Like, all you need is a certain number of signatures and to file before the FEC deadline. You could get on the ballot. But here's the problem he's having though. Mm-hmm. I mean, first of all, like, what is this campaign promise? Like, I promise a pair of Yeezys in every closet. Like, like, what is he promising anybody?
Yeah, like, I don't know what his platform is. I don't know why he's. Yeah, like, there's nothing that Yeezy has done to garner a vote, period. And at the same time, I feel bad because I'm like, this nigga's crazy. And, like, I don't mean, like, crazy, like, in a you know, like, I mean, like, come get the white coats and put them in the back of the truck.
Right. We're talking a 72-hour hold, you know, take a blood sample, crazy. And they asked, one of the reporters asked him what his platform was, and here's what his response was, and I quote, "I'm not arguing with you, Jesus is king, peace. That was his statement. I'm not arguing with you. Jesus is king. Peace. Corey's struggling to find a response here.
Because there is no response to be had, Kevin. This shit doesn't make any sense. Like, that's not a response that you give to, like, that wasn't even a debate question. I was just like, the response is so confusing. I'm lost as to, like, how to say it again, because, like, it threw me off. It's like a flashbang.
He said, I'm not arguing with you. Jesus is king. Peace.
No. What was the question?
What's your platform? Like what? You know? What's your voting platform? Like what do you? Are you liberal? Are you conservative?
Okay.
Are you
What's your platform? I'm not arguing with you. Jesus is king.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah. That's his platform is Jesus is king. Now here's what the plot thing is. He tried to get on in Chicago because you know he's from Chicago. Mm-hmm. And Chicago was like, we're not letting you get on the ballot because these signatures are defective. Like, there's like 7 people that live in the same house signing this shit. There's people that don't even live in Chicago that are signing up for this. So he had to throw in the towel in Chicago, and that's happening in a bunch of other places. But the only reason this matters is because he's registering on all these swing states. And the swing states matter because remember Trump, he won by less than 100,000 votes in all the swing states.
Yeah.
You know, like 75,000 in Wisconsin, like, you know, 50,000 in this other state. So if you get somebody like Kanye to show up and have, you know, enough young people, especially white or black, be like, oh yeah, I like Yeezy. You know, that first album was dope. I'm gonna vote for him.
And that works. It definitely works. Like, I mean, like, let's be real. How real? Like, how good? How many platinum albums has Trump put out?
Yeah, that's true.
How much fire has he spit that wasn't directly from his mouth?
yeah. Trump's mixtapes are pretty whack. So I mean,
exactly.
I mean, Trump has no bangers. That's what you're saying.
Yeah. I feel kind of like Dave Chappelle when he was on in that skit where he's where they have him on trial for Michael Jackson. He made Thriller. Like, he made College Dropout. I can't say nothing bad about him, but the fact that, like, he's gotten so deep into the sunken place that he is now trying to split the ticket for Trump, and also he has reached a level of prosperity to where he, as a black man, as an entertainer, can now split the ticket for Trump. Like, that's how big and how influential, how much money he's gotten. But at the same time, like, damn, bro, like, you are all the way on the other side now. Like,
yeah, I try to tell people when he started rocking that Confederate flag that you could see the steam coming out of the ears, like a pipe is busted in there, man.
Yeah.
There's something wrong with that. And now it turns out he's talking to Jared Kushner every weekend. They're like, oh, we're just friends. Oh, really? Okay, is that what's going on? Mm-hmm. So I mean, he's out there like trying to pull, and he has a lot of white fans too. Like, when he goes and does concerts, like you'd be the only black person there besides Kanye on the stage. So he pulls enough young. I mean, you go to shows like that, right? Where you just like, why am I the only black person here? This is. Mm-hmm. So I mean, if he splits the vote that way, then yeah, it could give Trump a victory, and Kanye is rich enough that it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
There's a level of like money you get to in this country where they could be literally just shooting black people in the street and it doesn't harm you at all.
Well, they are.
Actually, yeah, that's not even an analogy. Actually,
like, that is very like that's not an analogy, Kevin. That's very much the truth. That's very much the truth in several places in this country. But like, I don't know what else to say.
I mean, I promise as a campaign promise a big booty hoe at every birthday.
Yeah, like, I know I'm supposed to have some kind of witty retort and being a comic and like, oh, this is funny, and like, oh yeah, Kanye, and like, he's gonna, like, something about crashing and Kim Kardashian, but like, no, this is a serious fucking thing. Like, this is politics that's going to... Kanye West is going to have influence over... Like, he's going to be part of history for this. You know what I mean? Like that's going to be in the history books after something else they change after about how slavery was such a good time for us. But, like, yeah, like, this is... like I'm dumbfounded. I legit don't have a response because it's become that asinine to where Donald Trump is president and Kanye West is running to help him. I just said that, and that's reality.
I mean, remember, it's like when George Clinton used to have that song about like Aretha Franklin being the first lady and shit like that.
Yeah.
Paint the White House black, and people thought it was revolutionary in the 70s and 80s to say that. Oh, we're gonna have a black White House with Aretha Franklin as a first lady, and people are like, yeah, it's kind of fun for a song.
Mm-hmm.
We don't really want Aretha Franklin as the first lady, like
Now, granted, she probably would do a better job than Trump, but still, like. I don't want anyone working this job that don't know the job. So stop doing it.
Especially somebody that says that they quote unquote don't read.
Yeah, like proudly, like just stand up on a mountain like I don't read. Like why the fuck would you do that? Like and you're in charge of us, like in a sense. Like I hate even saying that, but like yeah, like we can, like he represents us, and that's frustrating. Because, like, you and I went to school.
Yeah, I know, exactly. We learned to read, and then we pay attention to this stuff. Like, I wouldn't even want him to be president of my record label.
Yeah. Kanye would be able to believe that. Like, yeah, man, I don't even want to be, like, please don't be president of the record label, because everything else you've done has gone wrong, you know? Like, no politics in it. Just, like, the one thing, and I've been saying this a lot lately, the one thing I've noticed Trump does not lie about is himself. Like he may not, like if he's talking to you, he'll lie because it's like just kind of like his thing. Like what's the word for it? Like not habitual, but like
it's like a habit. It's
compulsive.
Like
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like almost to where you don't even blame him anymore. But like in his actions, he has always been the same dude. Like, even back in the 70s when he wouldn't rent to black people. Even in the 80s when his lifestyles were rich and famous and trying to get the Central Park 5 locked up. Even when he was, like, wrestling with Vince McMahon. Even when he had the sex, like, even when he was having sex with porn stars. Even when he was doing The Apprentice. Even to now. He has been the exact same scumbag. No more, no less. He's been exactly that. And people still wanted that.
Well, I mean, it kind of makes the Kanye West situation seem worse, right? Because Kanye is kind of volatile.
Yeah, like Kanye has changed a lot.
The late registration Kanye, the through the wire Kanye, like I'd kick it with that dude, no problem. This Kanye, I don't know. He might stab me with an umbrella and then sing Jesus is King. Yeah. I don't know.
We went from George Bush doesn't care about black people to Kanye West doesn't care about black people. And it's, right. I think you said that a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. I was pointing out who would have thought that Taylor Swift would actually be like more down for black people's health than Kanye West. Yeah. sorry to misjudge you, Taylor Swift. We just saw a young white girl with a guitar.
Apology. We really do.
We just saw a young white girl with a guitar, and I was like, she's not down.
Look what we made her do.
she's actually like working hard to like unseat Trump. Like she's trying to get young people to register to vote and shit. Like, just because she's got on Lululemon pants and has a yoga mat doesn't mean that she's not down. And that's the lesson I learned.
Yeah,
me being judgmental that way.
Don't judge a book by its yoga pants.
Exactly. Do not judge a book by its yoga pants.
Okay, so that leads us to our next topic. Go ahead, Kevin.
Now, I'm just saying, just to leave the Kanye thing aside, we'll check in frequently and see how this is going up because I want to follow this. This is important.
We're all checking on Kanye. We're all worried. Yeah. This is a serious thing.
And there's a couple of black people on the blogs have been saying, Trump and Biden are the same thing. We might as well vote for Kanye. And I'm saying, no, okay, that's like saying Whole Foods and Trader Joe's are the same thing. So here's a sandwich I found in the dumpster. I'll eat that. Like, what are you doing?
And no offense to Kanye being a dumpster sandwich, but yeah, you're the dumpster sandwich right now. Like, you don't have any, like, you're not bringing anything to the table. There's no nutrients. There's nothing, like, this is not helping at all. At all, yeah. Kanye. You're not helping at all.
Yeah, no. You are eating a dumpster sandwich, and you really should stop. I would say go for Trader Joe's. It's cheaper and they treat their people better. No disrespect to Whole Foods. I love your sushi. But anyway, so, moving on to our next topic before we get sued by Whole Foods. So the big story this week, of course, was Joe Biden announces vice presidential pick, and that is Kamala Harris, the former Attorney General of California, the former DA of San Francisco, California Senator. And there's a couple people that are mad about this pick. There's three groups of people. There's racists. They're mad.
Yep.
There's Bay Area progressives, and I'll get to that.
Okay.
And the third group are Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. Because
that's the one I'm just scared of them the most all of a sudden.
Kamala's an AKA, so I don't know. Like that definitely there's some saltiness coming from the Delta Sigma Theta group of black women. I mean, you're gonna have to sort that out at the next sorority group meeting or whatever. AKAs don't gloat too much, okay? You don't want to start shit, but congratulations. So the thing that intrigued me about this story, and I had to go do a little bit of research about this, is, and I hear black people say this a lot, like, oh well, Kamala Harris is a cop. Why would you vote for a cop, right? And so I was like, well, what's this about? What's this cop story about? And this is what actually happened. So in 2006 or something like that, but she was the DA in San Francisco in 2004, and and she said she was always against the death penalty. And in was it 2006, somewhere around there, this cop got gunned down by a gang member, and she still said I refuse to do the death penalty. So the cops got mad at her about that. So she backed off, and she's like, okay, let's see what happens. And then what happens is the guy gets second-degree murder, not first-degree murder. So second-degree murder doesn't carry a death penalty anyway. But the cops were still mad at her for not screaming for the death penalty for the guy.
Yeah.
Right. So the
because
cops were
Blue
mad
Lives
at her
matter so much.
Right. And they were like, well, and she tried to explain to them, look, I mean, fine, if you want the death penalty, go for it. But the guy got second-degree murder, not first-degree. Yeah. Right? There's no death penalty for second-degree murder. So in order to keep peace with the police, she kind of backed off prosecuting a lot of cops for some of the shit that was happening. So in the early 2010s, there's a lot of cop shootings in San Francisco and all that. And as the DA, she just kind of kept it status quo and didn't prosecute them. And so progressives, especially Oakland, Berkeley people, were like, oh, well, she's a cop. She's not going after these police. And the point was, well, back then, DAs never really went after their police. And I've talked about this multiple times. This is why police almost never get prosecuted for shit. Is because the DA works hand in hand with the police. Right? Yeah. So if you know what I'm saying, they work on the same team. Yeah. So if a police officer shoots a black person, you think the DA is gonna come in there and arrest that dude right away? Nah. That's politics. They back off. So it looks so basically they're kind of faulting her for playing status quo with the DA's position. And to me that was interesting because people will say that now in 2020, she's a cop.
But that's actually kind of what they're upset about. It's not so much that it was her; it's the fact that it's the job. You know what I mean? That the DA capes for the cop and vice versa because they're on the same side because they work together. They're mutual. They have a mutual benefit. And right. And so to say that she's part of the system or it's not her fault, it's the don't hate the player to hate the game. I get that.
Right.
But here's what I got. I also got why people oh, she's a cop. But as just thinking of it as a voter now, it don't fucking matter. It don't matter if she shot some dude in the street and then covered it up. Right now, we've got a choice between a shit sandwich and a poison milkshake, right? The shit sandwich might make you sick, but the poison milkshake will kill you. And I am sick of this orange poison.
Right.
It's just as simple as that. I don't care how you feel about Kamala Harris. I don't care how you feel about Joe Biden. I really do feel like it's going to be more of the same that we had before Trump. And I'm 100% for that.
That's a starting point, right?
Yeah, like if that's what we're shooting for, fuck it.
It's like you got a broke arm and then you get COVID-19. It's like, can we just get back to the broke arm?
Yeah, like whatever's clever, man. Whatever floats your boat. Like, however we gonna make this work. Like, look, this dude is like, bro, he's. Like, Bond villains at least, like, make it look like, you know, like, I'm stealing the water supply, but I'm also running for mayor, so I want you to vote for me so I have the power to do this. And so it's like, you know, it's like, don't watch the left hand, watch what the right hand is doing, you know? Right. Trump just like, look at my hands, I'm stealing shit, yeah! Like, right. Like there's no subtext, no subtlety. Like, he is straight up fucking up the mail. Like, just right up, like, just not like like, you know how, like, John Stockton used to be the king of, like, just, he's a good-looking guy, like looks normal. He's a dirty player. He'll get your elbow. He'll trip you. Like, nah.
Right.
Trump's just, pow! Shoot! My ball! Like...
Right. There's no subtlety to his dirty game at all. Like, he's straight up tripping people in the lane, throwing elbows.
Then you
when you start pulling up mailboxes off the street, like that's when it just gets like, that's like standing in front of a polling station with a baseball bat. Like, nah.
Pretty much, like, that's next. Like, that's thinking of if that was a tactic that would work, if that was a viable tactic, he would absolutely, because they've done that before. You know what I mean? They used to do that back when the unions were forming, back in the early 1900s. They have people like just send the goons out there and beat their ass if they try and not work. You know, like if that was something Trump could do, he would have done that. Like he's tried to send in the National Guard several times.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I won't put anything past them. Like, even the most obvious, most goon-like, most ridiculous thing.
Yeah.
You know, and so we're just trying to get away from that situation and get back to the regular bad situation.
Exactly.
It's like, okay, when we get back to the regular bad, then we can start working on making the regular bad better. But right now, this is like...
Yeah, and it has nothing to do with Kamala Harris being a black woman. As a black man, I'm proud that she's been selected as the vice president, not vice presidential nominee. More power to you. It has nothing to do or an indictment against black women. It's just that if you have a problem with more of the same, if you have a problem with the whole issue of the DA, this, that, and the third, the same issue that you would have with Joe Biden and the crime bill. Okay, fine. But serial killer. Like, let's just like, let's go take care of the serial killer. We'll deal with the dirty cop later. Like, this is important.
It's so ridiculous, right? It's like you're a parent and you want to put up signs that say "slow down" in the school zone. Meanwhile, there's like a pedophile standing around with a knife outside your house. It's like, yo, why don't we fix that problem first? Get rid of the pedophile with the knife. Then we can start worrying about traffic patterns.
Yeah, it's like you're at the community meeting and complaining about, like, we don't have speed bumps. I'm like, there's a motherfucker with a clown mask and a bloody knife on the corner of 9th Street. Can we do something about it? Like it?
Right. So people just have to have that perspective, man. And you know, I try to talk to people online. I go in all the forums that talk about when they say Kamala Harris is a cop and stuff. And I study the thing, and I have a bit more ammunition now to be like, all right, well, you do have a point that this is not good and this needs to be fixed, but we need to see the bigger picture here.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, if the ship is sinking and the captain's like, here's a lifeboat, get on it. You don't sit there and go, well, you gotta explain to me why I need to be on this lifeboat. Well, fine, motherfucker, drown then. I don't know.
Yeah, that's really, but that's the thing though. Like, we really got people that's like, yo, you gotta explain to me, and you want to be like, fine, motherfucker, drown, but like, we can't just, if he drowns, we all drown, and I'm fine with letting that dude drown. But
you lost all. You don't give a damn.
I don't give a shit. Like, if he's done and wants to drown, then hey, man, drink all the water you can on the way down. But
Corey's lost all conscience.
I didn't have much to begin with, Kevin. I'm saying, if you dumb and you wanna end your life, then that frees up a lot of resources for the rest of us smart living people. But I'm saying, since we're all chained to this motherfucker, And if he goes down, we go down with him. Then like we have to adjust.
Right, it's like those disaster movies where it's like one guy just dead weight, and they start arguing in the middle of the thing. Like, we just need to drop this guy. Like, the volcano's going to erupt in 10 minutes. We need to just leave him behind. No, you can't leave Ralph. You can't leave him. And you're like, watch me.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're all attached to Ralph, is what we're saying. That's what it's.
Cut the rope. Cut the rope.
That would be nice. It'd be nice if we could just cut Ralph the fuck off, but. That's the world we're living in, man.
I get it, man. So here's a question I want to ask you, Corey, because there's another aspect of this Kamala Harris story. Is there are some people that are questioning like whether Kamala Harris is black enough, quote unquote. Is she black enough? Oh, she's half Indian, and her dad is from Jamaica, and her mother's from India. Is that black enough?
Rule number one: if you ever get the black enough question, you're fucking black enough. Okay. Like, if anybody has to ask you if you're any amount of black, you've more than passed the qualification because you've heard that shit your whole fucking life, and it's offensive every time. It doesn't get blacker than me, and I've had to deal with that because apparently I don't have much of a hood accent, and it sounds like I can, like I went to school. And for whatever reason, like the same. Remember when Chris Rock used to talk about he speaks so well. He's a fucking educated man. He was talking about Colin Powell. It's like that don't make him any less black. Like he didn't have to. Like that doesn't. Like what do you mean by black enough? Coming from the questioner is always what I wonder. It was like, so the dreadlocks didn't do it for you. So does Kamala Harris have to have a 40-ounce and a baby? Like what is black enough for you?
Yeah, I mean, what is this target black that you're aiming at, and how do you fall to the side of that? You know what I'm saying? It's like you have an idea in your mind of what a black person is, and you're applying that onto everybody. Yeah. And I'm curious to see, but do you really want to see what that target black person looks like?
Absolutely not, but it's a question that you have to ask the questioner because it's like I want to check you, but there's a better way to do that without even having to like embarrass you. I could just ask you another question, and then you'd be like, "Oh shit." Like one thing, like when I started getting that question a lot in Monterey of all places, was my best response was like, "Oh, so what black stereotype am I currently not fulfilling in your mind?"
Right. Where do I need to move in the in this map to get to the center of the map?
Yeah. Like, and when they look at me confused, that's when I elaborate. I'm like, do I not have a thick enough gold chain? Do I not have enough gold teeth? Is it because I haven't punched you in the face and taken your wallet? Would you like me to say like, yo, what's up, son? You know, like, is there something that you were expecting that you're disappointed by? Because I can tell you don't have that many black people that in your circle for you to even ask that question. So what is it that you were expecting that I'm not meeting?
Right. So the response to this is to turn the question around on the other person and ask them what are they aiming for, and then brace yourself for impact because you may not like to hear what's coming up next.
Oh, you're definitely not.
Well, I mean, Kamala Harris. I mean, she went to Howard University, which is HBCU. Mm-hmm. You know, but dad's Jamaican. That's pretty black. You know,
that's like 110%. You know what I mean? Like, like you shouldn't there shouldn't be an amount of blackness, but like if Obama was 50% black, then any full-blooded Jamaican is 110.
Right. I mean, and I consider her to be more like American black than Barack Obama is, because remember Barack's dad was from Africa, from Kenya.
Yeah.
So his dad didn't have that experience of being descendants of slaves kind of thing. Whereas like Kamala's dad is from Jamaica, and that is the slaviest of slave colonies.
The slaviest. That was the slave eBay. That was the main hub where all the slaves were traded, and then the logistics were set out to where they were sent.
For real. And the Jamaicans are super strong because what happened, like strong in terms of like their cohesion, because this was before the slave masters figured out you need to put people together from different tribes so they can't talk to each other and plot shit. Mm-hmm. Jamaica was a mistake. They put people from the same tribe together on the same island. They used to burn shit down on the regular in Jamaica. So you tell me, so they have that back history. And now you have mother from South India. And India was, a British colony for a long time, so they also have that. I mean, it doesn't get any more like slavery and colonial backstory than a person like Kamala Harris. And she went to school in Oakland, lived in Berkeley.
That's black as it gets.
Went to Howard.
She was a cop in Oakland. Like, I mean, if you're looking for again, God forbid we find out what you're actually plotting if you're black enough, but like how black do you need? Like, she's a cop in Oakland that grew up in Oakland.
Right. I mean, parents were like part of the civil rights movement and then marches in Berkeley and stuff like that. I mean, if you're checking off the I am aware of black culture and I am in the epicenter of black culture, it doesn't get blacker than that. Like Howard, aka Oakland. I mean, come on. So this is and of course they're trying to play the game both ways. So on the one hand, some people are saying, "Oh, she's not black enough," and then the second thing that happened the same week, Mayor Barry Presgraves of Virginia said that Joe Biden hired Aunt Jemima for vice president.
And that's when I was like, you know what? That was when I put all my shit to the side. I was like, my issues don't fucking matter. There's something much larger at stake. That was one of those moments when I was like, oh yeah, that's why I need to this is important. It was right. So reframe things.
It makes you pan out the camera, right? Because at one point you focused on the whole Kamala Harris as a cop thing and biracial, all this stuff. And then old white dude from Virginia goes, "Oh, it's Aunt Jemima," and you're like, "Oh, pan the camera back."
Why does that bother so many people, though? That's what's crazy to me.
And by the way, that is a hilarious slam because he could have said that mayor. They asked him to resign. By the way, I don't know if he's resigned yet. He could have said anything he wanted to say about Kamala Harris, but he went straight to the slave mammy reference. Like, he skipped 140 years and went all the way back to the plantation.
Yeah, well, he said Aunt Jemima, which was interesting because a month ago, I don't know how time works anymore in this bubble with Trump as president, but whenever that was a thing about getting her off the pancake syrup, a lot of people realized, like, oh shit, that's racist.
Right. They didn't even know the history of Aunt Jemima, how she was an actual slave. Yeah. That after slavery started doing this pancake things, and they made her like sort of a star, and they put her on the side of the boxes, and she'd go and cook pancakes at like demos of pancakes. But they didn't give her shit. They didn't give her any money. Like, she got like free syrup.
They probably made her give her back. Probably made her give that back too. Like, we saw you trying to sneak syrup, nigga. Now get out of here.
You got all the watermelon and syrup you need. What else do you need? Like, the descendants of Aunt Jemima are suing like General Mills because they're like, all this money she never made. And of course they didn't feel the need to pay her. She was a slave 5 years ago.
All these commercials and all she got was diabetes.
She goes diabetes.
But yeah, that's of those people that didn't know that was racist, myself included. I could assume, but I didn't know for a fact. It's not something I decided let's Google if Aunt Jemima's racist. Yep, fuck my day up.
Well, that's okay to not know the backstory. I didn't know the backstory until I looked into it, and the fact that this woman was an actual slave. That the General Mills or whoever it was at the time decided to put on the side of a box of pancakes, and that this guy will, in 2020, reach back to an 1850s stereotype to describe one of the most accomplished vice presidential nominees we've ever had. It just shows you, like, they're like, oh, nope, still a nigger. Like, they can't get
in his defense, something
1850.
In his defense, something from the 1850s is like when he was in high school. So, like, that's just what he remembers.
He is a really old white man, yes.
Like, that's just something that's like how I'm always going to think of, like the hyphy movement. Like, I'm always going to still have slang from like 2000 to 2005 that people will be like, you still say that? Like, yeah, I do.
Right. Those are my formative years.
Yeah, exactly.
like for him, separate but equal was progressive. Like,
yeah.
Separate but equal. What's this equal stuff? No. All of these 1930s radicals. Get back in the kitchen to make me some pancakes.
Fuck pancakes, man. I'm Team Waffles over here. I wonder how racist waffles are. I mean, they're German.
Probably tasty as hell.
These waffles are good.
No, they should put the chicken on the Roscoe in the corner, like writing the shit down.
But yo, check it out though. In response to the black enough thing, like in all seriousness, this is like even this conversation. This is part of what it is to be black in America. To find out every single aspect of your existence and history and being on this side of the continent is steeped in slavery. You know what I mean? So when people are like, "Oh, is she black enough?" I was like, "Well, everybody that has to deal with the shit we deal with is fucking black enough." Period.
Right. It's not an either or. Like, we have no choice. I mean, I'm from the islands. I'm from the Caribbean, and the police have never stopped me and been like, "Oh, wait a minute, you're from the lovely island of Trinidad and Tobago. Go on ahead, sir. Don't worry about it."
We thought you were a regular black.
Exactly. Put the gun away. He's got an accent. Good evening, officer. Under the sea.
Oh, God.
Under the sea. Oh, okay. He's fine.
That reminds me. That reminds me of a scene in Get Him to the Greek where like Jonah Hill's trying to say something about like, "Hey, do you know the words to African Child?" He's like, "I don't know none of this stuff, man. I don't even know how to play the drums. I just do the beat and make the Africans smile."
Yeah, pretty much. If that works, if that would stop the LAPD from messing with me, I would do it every time.
Yeah.
I would drive around in a cricket uniform with
oh, God.
the cricket bat in the back and my U.S. passport in my hand.
I never understood how the moon cricket. I was like, how is that even racist? Like, you ever hear a slur and you're just like, I don't want to hear the backstory, but just those two, that phrase together. I'm like, how did y'all come up with that to oppress us? Like, yeah, porch monkey. Like, where did you, like, how did that even come about? Like, well, actually, it's like, oh, yeah, that was just as racist as I thought it would be. But by itself, it's like, oh, that's almost funny.
Yeah. I mean, there's no sting to it. It's goofy stuff,
Yeah.
So
Jigaboo. I'm like, what? I'm like, okay, Gesundheit. Like.
I mean, like in British Isles, like the term was gollywog, which that kind of makes you giggle. Like it sounds like a silly little thing. Oh,
isn't that like a baby? Is that like a baby toad?
I don't know.
That's a pollywog.
I don't know. It's supposed to be bad, but it's such a goofy term. I'm like, oh, you guys get out of here.
So long story short, racism is stupid. All right, let's talk about something a lot more lighthearted.
So this week, I knew it was gonna happen. I predicted this. I knew it was gonna happen.
Yes.
So let's get right into it. Kima Silverand. Keem is pronounced Kima Silverand. Undrafted free agent out of Oklahoma State University, cornerback. He got picked up in the supplemental draft or something like that from the Seattle Seahawks. He's on the practice squad.
Gotcha.
He got kicked off the team because he tried to sneak a woman into the NFL bubble during training camp. Now, some of you guys who don't follow sports, this is what's happening. Like, to prevent COVID, these teams are creating what's called a bubble, where you can't really leave. Everybody has to stay in the bubble. You have to come back and get tested and be quarantined and all this stuff. And you're not supposed to interact with people outside the bubble for obvious reasons. Because if you get sick, you hit the whole team, and then the whole team goes down. Right? So this is like teamwork in the most like basic sense. Don't touch nobody else, we all die. This dude tried to sneak a woman into the bubble, and he dressed her up like a Seattle Seahawks football player. Now, my first question is, how did he expect this to work? Like, who on the Seattle Seahawks football team looks like a dime piece? I mean,
and some of the cheerleaders are just like a little off. Like, there's some nines, but I don't even think there's any dimes on the cheerleading squad.
No, he dressed up like a football player. Not
Yeah, I know.
one of the,
I know what you meant. I was trying to play devil's advocate.
if he dressed up as a cheerleader, okay, maybe. If he dressed up like a football player, like some of y'all football players gotta look at each other in the mirror now. Like, do I look?
Yo, you know the phrase like "ready to risk it all."
Mm-hmm.
He just did. Like
right.
like all this stuff you just read off, like supplemental draft, undrafted, second round, Oklahoma State. It's a literal miracle that you even got this outside chance to be on the practice squad of an NFL team. You are on the fringe of the fringe. I mean, like the little you fart in the wrong direction, and Russell Wilson says it smells bad. You're gone. Okay.
Right.
You pulled this stunt. You couldn't keep it in your pants for a couple more weeks, bro.
Yeah, I mean, he really risked it all, man. I mean, that's like you going to see a parole officer, and just before you walk in the building, you know, I'm gonna smoke a little crack real quick. Like you threw your whole career away, and on top of that girl you were messing with, now she know you ain't got no NFL money,
and won't have it.
Yeah, so you can't go back to her and be like, oh well, I guess since I'm out the bubble, you still wanna kick it?
And he was just trying, like, I don't know if he was trying to sneak her in for a night or just so you can have like someone in there specifically for that, but like. It hella wasn't worth it, bro. Like, if you would have just waited and then got that check, you could, like, once you got out the bubble, you could have, like, you know, you could have handled all that business. You could have smashed all of Seattle, but no.
Right, exactly. It's like, you know, you could have had 10 of them girls. You should have done what most of these people do, which is say they have a family emergency. Leave the bubble, handle your business, come back, and within 2 days you're back in because the quarantine's so quick now. Instead, you bring it. Not only did you violate protocol, but you brought this woman into the building. So anything and anybody she breathed on and touched up until she gets in that room, everybody's at risk.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like he just like it's more than and oh god, it's so bad. The more you like unravel it, the worse it gets. It's like a rotten onion. Like more layers.
What kind of Scooby-Doo Mission Impossible shit is this? Dressing people up in disguise.
Like on one hand, you're such a horn dog that you gotta get some tonight. On the other hand, you're such a horn dog and so inconsiderate that you didn't just sneak out. Like you couldn't sneak out to go get it and then come back. You had to sneak I'm not gonna say infection, but you can sneak a possible like risk in, and then 3, you take it to a cartoony ass level. To where you like, I don't know if you put shoulder pads on the bitch or what, but like you just really tried to like dress her up like she was on the team, like they ain't gonna recognize. Oh yeah, number 89. Wow, you lost a lot of weight. I thought you were taller. No, you just really tried to just pull a fast one on everybody. So
you lost a lot of weight and grown some titties.
Yeah. So those 3 things on top of that, oh yeah, like it's the 4th is all the above, bro. You gotta go. You got to go. You are the dumbest dude in the NFL. You're the dumbest dude trying to get into the NFL.
Right. I mean, this is one step above making your kids stand on each other's shoulders and putting a trench coat around them. Like, I mean, how is this supposed to work? As you walk in the building, people are like, who's that? Oh, yeah, that's Tony.
Man.
Undrafted rookie. Don't worry. I got him. I got the rook. Come here, rook. Let's go. Is Tony wearing heels?
I'm so frustrated.
I mean, this dude, he's gonna be roasted for a while. Like this is
as he should. I hope he gets another chance in the league, just for the simple fact that he's retarded. Like, and I don't mean that in like a way that can get us fined. I mean like he's not mentally all there, and he probably has like he might be a little down. Like, let's go get that checked. Because if you think that's a good idea, actually no, that's an insult to retarded people. He's just stupid.
Well, I mean, he's also young too, man. I mean, like I remember when I was in the dorms when I was like 19 or 20. We try to sneak kegs of beer into the dorm in the laundry baskets.
Yeah.
So you're rolling in the laundry basket. It's a pile of clothes, and underneath the pile of clothes is a keg.
Kevin, that's not the same thing. You're college kids trying to have fun. That's way more intelligent than what he just tried to do. Because beer is like it fits in a hamper. You throw clothes on it. It's a real easy sabotage. It's a real easy sneak in. It's a real easy camouflage. Nah, his shit was stupid. Period.
Yeah, he was on some Ferris Bueller's Day Off kind of thing where you got the mannequin in the bed kind of situation.
But even Ferris knew you're gonna need a level of darkness and distance for this to work.
Right. And he had the recording like with the snoring. So it's like, oh, he's asleep. Leave him alone.
This is indicative of another problem, and we've all known a friend like this. That's just like always willing to risk it all for some pussy, and it's like, bro, you just like it's one night, and you ruin all the shit that you work for. You ruin because you're trying to get laid. Like you could have just waited.
Right. Yeah, I mean, Cat's doing things like it's 3 a.m. Oh, I gotta go to the house, man. And he tried to tell him, no, they're doing traffic stops now. You might not want to do that. I know a back route, man. I'm going to drive real slow. Don't worry about it.
Okay. Oh, and why am I bailing you out of jail?
Exactly. I'll see you in the morning. I'll it's if everybody put in 500, we could get him out.
Yep.
Oh, man. Yeah. So that's the situation. So far, he's on the free agent market right now, and nobody's picked him up yet, obviously, because if they pick him up, they're gonna have to bring him in the bubble, and they have to put one of those like ankle bracelets on him.
Yeah, good luck getting another gig, bro. That's bad. That's almost as bad as everything that's going down on Dan Schneider. But yeah, that's bad.
So yeah, man. So that's where we're at right now. As far as the bubble goes, I know the playoffs are about to start. I know you're excited about it because we're
in the playoffs for the first time this friggin' decade.
Right, which is pretty dope.
Yep.
I just think they should stop bringing Draymond Green on the panel to talk.
Yeah.
I mean, because it makes us look bad right now. Because if you're a Warrior fan, to have one of your players going on the panel with Shaq and all of them talking all this trash, like you just look at him and go, you at home in your house slippers, bro. How you gonna tell us how to play? You should be out mowing your lawn. What are you talking about?
And on top of that, Charles absolutely owns him right now. Like, that's just like, why are you... I know you're trying to, like, save face, but, like, bruh, it's a wrap for you. Let it... Like, you got to play better before you can go after a Hall of Famer. He got you on the triple single. Just accept it.
Right. Because Draymond came in strong talking about, well, I got rings, you ain't got rings. What's up with that? And then Charles comes back with, like, yeah, I ain't got rings, but guess what? I took my team to the finals on my back, and I played same way as you played, undersized center, and I dragged Phoenix to the finals. You were the man on your team, and where you're at? Oh, that's right. You sit at home in your pajamas. So why are you even talking to me right now?
Mm-hmm. Triple single.
So you gonna watch any of these games, man?
Oh, of course. I watched the play-in game the other day. That was really like John Morant is a stud. Like that dude's gonna be a star in this league for a long time. And this is a great. Like it sucks that he lost so close, but like he put up a good fight. Memphis got a better team than I expected, and they got some hope coming up. I thought when they traded Conley, it was gonna be like, damn, they're really rebuilding. Like, nah, they're pretty much right back in they're rebuilt. They just need a couple more pieces.
Yeah. I mean, they're gonna be strong next year, definitely. They're gonna be trouble in the West, definitely. My Warriors, I don't know what's happening there, man. I mean, everybody's coming back except they don't have a good center. I don't know. I mean, they need one or two more pieces to be back to like where they're at. what they were before. But yeah, I'm kind of tuned out right now because it's like, I mean, my Warriors are so bad. It's just they're not even like. I mean, it looks like a G League team right now. You know what I'm saying? so.
Well, the Lakers. Go ahead, sir.
No, I'm saying, and Steph and them, like, there's a lot more wear in their bodies than because they went 5 years in a row into the finals.
Yeah.
Like, dudes break down, man. I remember Luol Deng from the Chicago, from the Bulls. By the time that dude was 32, he looked like he was 80. You know what I mean? So,
I know, and we're still paying that dude, so I get it. Yeah.
Oh, you gotta love the bad contracts, the Bobby Bonilla's of the world. And for those of you who don't follow sports, these are the kind of contracts where they have to pay a guy $1 million a year for the next 20 years, even though he's retired.
Instead of taking that $20 million contract up front, it's like, oh yeah, I'll take the 20 on the back end. Like, I'll be retired, and then when I'm starting to hurt for money, it's like, oh yeah, I got like an NBA pension from here on out. And the team's like, oh shit, we got to keep paying this guy $7 million a year until until someone takes this horrible contract, or it's over in 7 years. So
whenever you see those ads late at night where they say if you're gonna get a lump sum, you can take your settlement and give you a lump sum. Like, no, don't take the lump sum. Just keep taking the money.
I have a structured settlement, but I need cash now.
yeah, exactly. Nah. Don't take the cash now, man. Take that. Let that money keep rolling in.
Yeah.
So.
But the Lakers looking good. I really like how Portland plays. But they're all Lillard right now, so Lakers in 5.
Well, shout out to Melo for getting a little bit of redemption. I mean, I don't think they're gonna beat the Lakers in 7, but at least Melo gets to play. I mean, I want to see LeBron and Melo go 1-on-1. And, Melo would be just there like mumbling under his breath. You could have brought me on your team, man. I thought we were boys.
Yeah, I thought your contract was smaller.
Exactly. Like, LeBron wanted to bring him on his team, but the guys up front were like looking at the money like.
He's like, man, I'm gonna pay you on the back end, man, but like you got to take the league minimum up front.
For real. Well, cool, man. I think we covered a lot of ground.
I think so.
This was a half funny, half serious show. Shout out to Kanye West. Shout out to Kamala Harris.
All the K's.
Yeah. We don't want Kim Kardashian as a first lady, please. No.
I mean, we've already got her.
Exactly. This gold digging chick that doesn't do anything but just stands around and looks famous. Yeah.
Actually, Kim Kardashian would be an improvement.
Yeah, because Kim actually was fighting for police reform, fighting to get black people out of jail.
Yeah, she's trying to get a law degree.
Yeah, she's like, you should stop arresting black men. We need more of them. We really do. The judge should be like, yeah, normally if somebody else had said that, I would say yes. But you've already had enough black men. No more for you, buddy.
Hey, everybody knows if there's anything that black men need, Kim Kardashian is there to make sure they get it. She's willing to get down on her hands and knees and fight for you.
And with that, thank you. We're here all week.
All right. You got anything that you like to plug, Kevin?
Not yet. The cabaret we're doing is going to come up in September. Next week I'll probably plug it so people can tune in and check it out. In the meantime, there's a couple Zoom open mics, but they're just kind of like tune-up mics. I wouldn't necessarily recommend people to watch them quite yet. I mean, people are still trying to figure out how to sell the show, how to make it more structured. So we're trying to get there. So how about you?
Nothing really right now. I'm in a weird holding pattern. Like I had some things going on. I'm still kind of like with my comedy ACL torn. I'm just kind of chilling. But when something new comes up, you will all be of the first to know. So.
Right. Stay tuned, everybody, because I didn't know this, but I mean, there's a lot of industry is still doing auditions, still grinding, still trying to find people, and as soon as the air clears, there's gonna be plenty of projects. Like they're like, we need to get cranking up right quick and in a hurry so we can start getting our money again. Yep. So I predict by like October time frame, things will start to turn on again.
Yep.
So.
Pretty much. Yep. So like right after my birthday, when I come out of my out of my haze, I'll be ready to go.
Okay, sounds good, man. Sounds good.
Yep. All right, man. Well, thank you guys for tuning in, all few of you, and I appreciate every last one of you. We'll be back next time, next week, same black time, same black station.
Yeah, check us out next time.
All right. Peace, y'all.
Later.